Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also a podcast, Summer Edition, the finale, Season 9, Episode 15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have opened 14, but that's wrong. It's 15.
It's the finale. That's crazy.
We made it. It was a long season. We're also in person if you're, I guess both if you're listening and or watching. But if you're watching on the Patreon for video, you see my pillows are in both of ours. We're in my apartment in New York, which is so fun. Let me get my water.
It's been like a year, more than that, since we recorded it in person.
Yeah, we did another Summer House episode in person a while ago, but it wasn't the finale, so it had to be over a year ago.
Yeah.
But we also
sweet, but in a different city,
in a different setting,
with my matching pillows.
Computer, so we can set up this thing. Okay, so we hit the finale. Before we get into it, we have a bunch of stuff you should do if you've liked us this season. We have an Instagram, a TikTok, a YouTube, a Patreon. All the links are in the description. So please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. And yeah, great. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, so it was the finale. So we did previously this season at Summer House. Lindsay is pregnant. Jesse fell in love with Lexi. Kyle wants kids, but Amanda doesn't know if she wants kids. Paige and Craig are on the rocks. Sierra and Wes are not on good terms from last summer, and she confronted him about it. Lindsay is free of Carl. We met Emerald, and he was done so dirty by production. Jesse treated Lexi terribly and got his toe sucked. Jesse was also flirting with Sierra behind Lexi's back. Lexi broke up with Jesse multiple times. And then 2 hours later, we're at this dinner. And Jesse blamed the breakup weirdly on Sierra, kind of. It's complicated. I honestly couldn't track. Like, this argument is kind of crazy to track.
Well, that one I think also was cut. Like, that, I think the conversation with the whole group and Jesse was cut weird, too. To, like, exasperate it.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, it was a weird cut. I don't know. But we have to pick up right where we left off. So the first time stamp is August 30th, or it's Friday, August 30th, 8:13 p.m. Also, please be easy on me. I had to take these notes live, and I did not look up at the camera most.
I was shouting out the timestamps.
I was trying really hard. But Lexi, this is where Lexi says that she doesn't trust Sierra, which in the trailer looked way crazier than I know. Was. But basically because Jesse talked shit to the girls about Lexi, and that made Lexi feel very awkward in the house. Paige and Sierra do say that they don't think Jesse actively isolated Lexi, but Jesse immediately kind of goes into like victim mode. Not even victim, but just like not the villain mode. It's weird.
He can't take a step back and take his ego out of it and say like, her feelings exist whether he did anything to do it or not do it at all. Yeah. Like, there's a lot to this where it's like, okay, Lexi was feeling this stuff anyways. Like, she felt isolated from the girls. The girls may not have felt isolated from her. Was it Jesse's fault? Was it not? Like, what part did he play in? But either way, she's feeling this stuff and he can't recognize any of it. Because I think for him, it's an all or nothing. Like, either he was involved and she had these feelings or none of it happened.
Yeah, it's so layered that, like, I think she was very lonely.
Yeah.
I think Jesse did, in a way, not encourage.
I don't think he helped.
He didn't help. He didn't encourage the friendships. He didn't offer his assistance in making friends. But I wouldn't say it's his fault, but he wasn't doing what you should do if you love someone.
I agree. And I think this is a situation nobody runs into. So you're more likely to screw it up. But when somebody then confronts you with it, it's like, oh shit, like, you just shouldn't fight it so hard.
Agreed. So Sierra makes a point to say Lexi didn't really make herself available all summer either. The way, like, maybe Wes and Sierra, when they were dating last summer, they were more open with the house than Jesse and Lexi were. And Lexi fully owns that. And she's like, yeah, I didn't, but I was busy fighting for this relationship where I was getting clowned.
Yeah.
And Lexi just says she can't trust Jesse because Jesse lies by omission or fully lies. And Jesse was always only happy when it was just them two. She says he didn't want her to go out and, like, make friends.
I think he wanted to capitalize on all her time, which, like, is dangerous no matter what stage of relationship you're at. You need to both have independent things. Like, you can't be someone's everything. And we talked about this a lot throughout the season of like Lexi lost Bailey, her buddy to come into. So comparing it to Wes even isn't fair. Like Wes and Jesse had each other. Like it's easy to bond with somebody you are on a clean slate with and going through the exact same thing with someone. Losing Bailey, being so enamored by Jesse and wanting it, and him pushing more and more, which isn't a bad thing, like wanting to be with her all the time and her just not putting herself out there more, which is scary to do when all these people know each other. It just it ruined her entire ability to like make friendships.
I also will say, I was telling Meredith about this because it's hard not to talk when we're watching it live
Yeah.
together. But I did say, like, Paige, Sierra, and Amanda aren't known as the most welcoming people
Yeah,
anyway. So I think it was also a very difficult situation to navigate when you don't have someone else to help you, whether that be Bailey, Jesse, whoever.
I agree.
Lexi had to figure out how to navigate this alone. And we see that's why she kind of leans more towards Gabby and Lindsay because they also aren't really in this room,
Mhm.
right? But I think Lexi would probably fit in better with the bed bug
Yes.
just because of
And
where they are.
you made a good point when we were watching it that like the bed bugs are literally having matching outfits. Like they're talking about like probably drinks they're getting together. Like it's intimidating to want to break into an existing friend group and then also they're not, meeting her where they're at either. Like obviously when you're all sitting at a dinner table, they're gonna ask about each other, but like that's a group activity. Like it's about the one-on-one friendships and investing in those. And they're on both sides. Nothing was happening. And so, but like Lexi's the new person. Like it's hard when you're the new one to really make
The only new
inroads.
one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Wes then tries to say something and Gabby tells him to shut up. So then, like, we weirdly get this beef between Gabby and Wes.
I was annoyed with Gabby.
Where
Yeah. Why does everybody else get to chime in, but Wes can't?
who else was chiming in?
Well, like Gabby was saying a ton of comments. I think it's crazy for Gabby to be the one saying, like, stop talking when Gabby is constantly under her breath saying comments. I want all the comments. I want everybody to make comments.
So then Wes does eventually say that Jesse has a relationship with everyone here because he was in the summer house last year. And Lexi's just kind of like, oh, so like because he was friends with them for a year, like these are automatically his friends opposed to like could be my friends, you know?
Which it's kind of, I think that the experience of the summer house is so unique that, like, a year for them is a lot different. Like, you go through something so unique. So I think you are closer to the people in the summer house than somebody just normally you've known for a year. Like living with someone changes a lot.
I agree. I don't think like the year necessarily means like
Matters.
Jesse is like I have a friend who does this where he's always like, "Oh, I'm such good friends with them. I've known them for a long time." And I'm like, that really doesn't mean much. It's all about the connection. And honestly, I think if Lexi did come in not so attached to Jesse and maybe had Bailey all summer, I think she could have been better friends with the girls than Jesse is.
Agreed.
I don't think Jesse actually puts any into these friendships. I just think if you're gonna compare Lexi this summer and Jesse last summer, like Jesse has the upper hand. But I think if it just gone, I said this, Lexi was just really unlucky with her summer.
Yeah. Well, and other people got luckier. Like we said, Sierra had like a perfect hand on like becoming best friends
Yeah,
with these
she was
people.
in a full pandemic. They all bonded over hating Luke. Amanda and Hannah ended up getting in a fight, so Sierra was kind of ready to not swivel in, but like she kind of got more pulled in more because we just needed more backup that season. Whereas Lexi, the friendships are already established. She comes in alone. She immediately starts dating Jesse,
And
which
you're
makes it.
encouraged to date. Like they want people to date.
Of course they do. That's all they showed this fucking season.
Yes.
Anyway, so then Gabby basically then says back like, "Oh, because Jesse knows these girls, he's allowed to run his mouth to them."
Which like I can't decide where I sit on the Jesse comment stuff. I think I don't care what he said to the girl, like the larger group girls. I don't think anything he really said was that bad. It's that he was saying things differently to her or that he
Yeah,
won't own it.
it's that. But I also think then too. he never told the girls any, like, the group anything good about her.
Yeah.
Said, I really like her. She's fun to be around. It was always just like, she's jealous and she's hot, but she's terrible. But she's hot, but she's bleh. Like, he didn't actually say anything.
Yeah, he did act like he was like suffering.
Yeah, it's the same thing when your friend tells you all the bad things about her boyfriend.
And then is mad that you don't like them.
Yeah, like, what the fuck do you want me to do with
Yeah.
that? So I think it's that. And then the fact that he was telling Lexi, like, these girls suck, like, Sierra's whatever he was fucking saying. Sierra sucks, I don't like her. So then Lexi also has,
He was saying, like, don't trust anyone, don't trust production.
then Lexi has, like, a bad taste in her mouth from like, the Lord, what am I trying to say? She has a bad taste in her mouth with all the other house guests and production then. You know what I mean? Okay, so then Wes is pissed at Gabby, because he doesn't know why Gabby gets to, like, put her opinions in when, like, she doesn't have a relationship on the show. And I was like, that just means no one on the show has liked Gabby yet. Like, that's not.
But like, she doesn't even try to, like, it doesn't seem like she's even dating outside of the house. So, like, your love life is never up for discussion, but you have a lot to say about it.
But what if she doesn't have a love life? What if she's 4B? What if she's just not dating?
Yes, but I think
I would still give my opinion.
Oh, I agree. I think he's pissed because she was like, shh. And he's like, listen, I've been through this a time or two. Like, it is a little bit different. You and I think everybody gets to give their opinion at any time, constantly. I don't care what you've been through.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
But Lexi just wants Jesse to stop stirring the pot. But at least there's dessert. So we'll end this conversation.
Oh my God. Wes is like, can we get something else, please?
Then, like, the table is still kind of a little, there's tension. So Lexi tells Wes, like, you should shut the fuck up and, like, stay in your lane.
That was crazy.
But then Paige is like, no, I think Wes should talk more. And then it kind of turns into, like, Lexi and Gabby versus Sierra and Paige on, like, if Wes should talk or not.
It's, like, so dumb that we're fighting about who's allowed to speak at this dinner table.
That also, I don't know why, and I still can't explain it. I'll have to marinate on it. But something felt weird and icky about that. Them arguing about that. You know what I mean?
Being able, if Wes can speak or not.
Yeah, like, why are we gonna... I don't know, not that they were even arguing, but I just wouldn't, like, I don't know.
I think they would have been mad, and by they, I mean Gabby and Lexi would have been mad at anybody who spoke in any slight defense of Jesse.
I agree.
And it's like that, okay, you don't get to be mad at somebody speaking just because it's for one side. If you don't want anybody to chime in, like, be consistent then. Like, nobody should be chiming in. But, like, why are we doing it at a dinner table then?
Yeah, I mean, I was more of, like, I didn't like that it turned into, like, Paige and Sierra versus Gabby and Lexi, and they were arguing about whether Wes should, like, why. Then I'm not saying that, like, this breaks the friendship, but I do think that I think all of their friendships are kind of fake in that. Like, I don't think Gabby's actually friends with the rest of the girls.
Oh, I agree.
Then it also made it seem like, why can't all the girls just be... I get this upset when all the girls...
Yeah, and this was like a line in the statement.
I didn't like it. Anyway, we have a mini, like, but everyone please remember this is Freedom Dinner. Carl is also free.
Let's make his post.
Let's post for Carl.
I died.
Yeah. So then it's 8:42 p.m. It's time to get changed into jammies. Wes is freaking out because this was the first time he talked to a group combo, and his heart is beating really.
I mean, he is a silent boy, so, like, don't let this stop you, Wes. You need to speak up more.
And then Paige and Jesse talk on the couch. She says the conversation could have been way worse. And Paige says, like, look, she is for the girls, but she knows Jesse never had any malicious intent. They just went too quick, too hard.
Yeah, but, like, intent isn't always it. This is what bothers me, is I don't think the girls see what... Because they cannot see everything holistically, like, they're actively living this. We get to see everything. But I'm like, intent matters, of course, but, like, if he's hurting her even without intention, like, that should still be addressed.
Well, it's not even that. He's hurting her and not taking ownership. Like, he's doing the thing where someone says, like, you hurt my feelings, and he's like, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Just not saying, like, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Like,
I feel like the bed bugs would never accept this type of behavior. Like, just look at Craig. Like, Craig's not allowed to lie, and like he shouldn't be, but like Jesse is allowed to. Like, it's weird.
It is, and I think again they just do have a better relationship with Jesse, and they don't know Lexi.
Yeah,
and Jesse has only told them bad things about Lexi.
That's the thing. I just don't think they know the full story, but I also think they're better friends with Jesse that they won't change their minds.
Sierra joins too and is like, "It's crazy that you dislike me." I'm surprised we're gonna overlook the comment because Lexi said like basically before the day before the U.S. Open, Jesse was bitching about how he disliked Sierra, and then
Yeah.
the U.S. Open, and then was like totally fine with her, and it was Lexi.
I would be like, tell me the comment you said. What was the conversation? Say word for word, and then I would go interview Lexi and say what happened from your perspective.
Surprised we're just gonna look over this.
I think Sierra's at the point where she's like, she's changed her in her mind where she places like Jesse in her life, and they're like party fun friends.
But basically, it's the right thing that Jesse and Lexi are over. But Jesse can't help but flirt with Sierra a little bit, to which Amanda's like, the body's like,
no. The rest of this with Jesse, the rest of the episode, I'm like, you are gross. Like, chill out.
But you're still wrong.
You don't care about her feelings. You are purposely looking over her feelings and not caring about them.
It's crazy. So then it's 8:13 p.m. again.
Alicia clocked that immediately when it came out.
God, we already hit 8:42.
Again, Bravo. Again.
It's embarrassing at this point.
They don't care about this shit anymore.
So Lexi does not want to sleep in her room because Jesse slept there every night.
I made a comment when this actually aired. I was like, what? It's a bed that you don't own.
I think she doesn't want to sleep alone.
Oh, but just say that.
Maybe she hasn't
process it.
Process is kind of what happened. I think she just hasn't processed it.
Yeah.
Lindsay tells Turner on the phone that dinner was perfect. Cracked up. I was like, did he know that she was going to do this?
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
Like, I'm going to annihilate my ex at dinner, and it's perfect.
I'm going to here to my freedom.
Do you think he'll take it? I mean, Turner had to have seen the Instagram post.
Yeah, even if he wasn't online, I'm sorry, one of his friends had to have screenshot that and sent it.
So, Gabby confronts Lexi about her summer, comforts Lexi, because Lexi's very upset her summer was wasted on Jesse. And then Paige and Sierra just chat about life. They talk about what their type is, like for them to like fully swing their head.
If we never knew that Paige and Craig broke up, like there are signs. Like I think it's so funny when people talk about their types that would make them swing their heads and they're in like a 3-year relationship.
Do you have a type that would make you swing your head?
My type that I am like, oh my God, that's so hot is so different than the guys I date, which is crazy. Like my initial attraction is like the tall, dark, and handsome type, like very muscular. But I think that's because that's what my first crush was, so I just attached it to
like a man.
No. But I'm just saying, like dark features, like the first boy I liked had like dark features, and he was like 10, so no.
Jack. When they said this, I was like, I don't think, because I really don't have like a type physically. That's why dating apps are hard because
there's like. I mean, there's like a general just attractive, like you can be like, oh yeah, I like them.
I do kind of like though, like, my God, this is so embarrassing. I can't believe I'm admitting this. I like a blonde.
West Wilson?
Yeah, he would make me turn my head. But the thing is, it would depend how he's dressed.
I agree.
He's a little crazy in his outfits, which he does do like crazier outfits. I don't think my head would swing. For the right reasons. I think I would double take and be like, I don't know if I like that. But I think if he was dressed like in a way that I was like,
because I think he has a fun wardrobe, and I don't think I think it's like the sailor outfit type interview outfit that he gave. I don't think that would turn your head. But him in like fun shorts and a t-shirt, you'd be like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah. Or if I saw him in gray sweatpants, I might like pass out.
Gray sweatpants on any guy, though.
Honestly, when they were talking about their types and Paige was like, and a suit, I was like, I don't think a suit would do it with me. I think it would have to be gray sweatpants. Like literally was just thinking.
I will say seeing guys in tuxes though do something for me.
I don't know.
I just grew up in a very preppy world. So like when somebody's really put together and it fits them really well, not just any suit, like it like
tailored or whatever.
I'm like, oh yeah,
Well,
you thought about that.
I love like an athlete or like a more athletic guy.
The like streetwear at all.
I think if he was like in basketball clothes, I'd
Yeah,
die a little.
I love that.
Wears really like Wes's streetwear.
Yes.
Yeah, I could get behind.
But not the kooky costume side of things.
No,
where you
no,
can
no.
get.
Like the street,
Yeah,
streetwear.
I like it. All right.
So Wes Wilson, you stand my neck. But then they talk about how Paige has told all her boyfriends she's loved them. Sierra's only told one. But then Paige realized that she didn't actually love them. She just loved her life, and then they were there.
Which I thought she was just gonna be like, oh, and I learned what love is, or like my no. She was like, I liked my life, and they were supporting her.
Sometimes I feel that way about dates, where I go on a date and I'm like, I love that date, and I was like,
no, I was great.
So then Paige also talks about how Giggly Squad, the Giggly Squad tour. Is that what it's called? Did I write it down? Giggly Squad?
Yeah, Giggly Squad is the podcast name.
For a second, I was like, that didn't sound right.
It's one of those things where you've seen it written and like heard it so many times. I know it sounds fake. Sometimes I forget it too.
Okay, the Giggly Squad tour is starting, and Paige is more anxious than excited. She's worried about Craig, which, yes,
it makes me so sad because it like ruins a massive life achievement.
It's so sad. So then it's 1:49 a.m. The boys had gone out, and now that we didn't really see them.
Yeah.
We see them come back. We see Carl and Kyle first. Kyle doesn't eat at all. He just tiptoes to the bathroom. He did not wake up a man.
He freaks his way to the bathroom.
It was so good. It was so good.
I actually think in this off season you need to rank Kyle's drunk moments.
I would be honored, honestly.
I'm gonna pull some clips and you're gonna have to rank
moments
them.
I like live.
This one
so funny.
Probably one of my new top 3.
Like
we died laughing.
So good because the camera like panned away and then like panned back to him.
They always show us so much of it too. It's not like it's like 1 or 2 creeks. It's like show us Amanda. I think showed other people walking in, and then we're back to him creaking.
Well, I made a video recently on like old Summer House, and there was this clip I put in of Kyle drunk eating chips. And when I tell you the clip was long in the video that I posted, it was I cut more than half of it.
I know.
Just is like this is hilarious. Like the way that is my sense of humor.
You only have an hour. Like, this gets some good airtime.
My sense of humor.
I was shocked you didn't put the time when he fell asleep with his hand in the bag. Was that the same clip?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Cut it out. I need him.
I need just a solid moment. Yeah.
I needed the video to end eventually for the song. The video I initially made was like literally 5 minutes. And I was like, cut. And most of it was Kyle drug eating. Oh, it's my favorite. Anyway, then Emerald, Wes, and Jesse get back, and Wes does go to the kitchen, but isn't trying to eat in the kitchen. He just grabs the sandwich platter and brings it to his room for him and Jesse to nibble on.
Is it? I know what I think about this, but those are Carl sandwiches that have been sitting out since Carl brought them.
Probably slap drug, dude. So
I don't like food that's been sitting out for that's 12 hours.
Drunk enough at 2 a.m.?
Yeah, but you got Jimmy John sandwiches in the fridge?
They probably forgot.
I mean,
if I get home, if it's not in front of me, I forget.
Yeah, especially if you're like a quick, like if they came down and sat down, they would have gone in the fridge.
You saw the platter and went, Jesse's upstairs.
I need to go to bed, but let me grab this real quick.
Yeah, I see nothing. They did spill some deli meat in his bread, that was gross. It was so good. It wasn't as funny though because it was like they were talking while eating. I need someone to just sit alone.
Kyle being alone is so funny.
Bright light on, like we're not even.
Yeah. Or when they were all cooking in the kitchen together, like that was enjoyable.
But it was fine. I'll take what I can get. So it's Saturday, August 31st, 9:15 a.m. House is starting to wake up. Jesse might still be drunk, but he is sad.
Okay.
Broken up. Right?
I don't care about his big emotions anymore.
This is how this is gonna end. He'd rather not have been loved at all than.
No. I was like, shut the fuck up right now. Especially him in his interview chair saying it.
The worst part is they get back together at some point.
I forgot.
They date in September.
Alicia, I forgot about that.
That's all I thought about. You know how last episode I was like, we need to just talk about this, like they didn't get back together? Yeah. This episode I couldn't remove it from my brain.
I can't wait for the reunion now because I want a full timeline of that because I forgot about that.
He posted her in September, right?
He did post her. It said he had I think, Amazon Live and mentioned having a girlfriend.
Well, there was a picture of her on, like, against the New York skyline. Because I remember Jesse posted it. I don't think on his, maybe it was a story. But he posted something, and I remember being like, "Is this the new girl?" Do you remember that?
I don't think I saw it.
And she was wearing his watch or something. It was very weird.
That's crazy.
Where it happened. Anyway, Lindsay's downstairs cleaning. Emerald goes to get breakfast sandwiches, which he brings back under his shirt.
Okay, what the fuck? There was no reason for that.
I don't know, like maybe they were warm and he was cold.
I don't care. I don't want my food under your shirt.
The boys go set up the scary party. Lexi is upstairs, so Gabby and Lindsay go to check on her, and they find Lexi having an overwhelming cry.
I feel overwhelmed. This is, knowing this is the last weekend too, you're like, I just got to get to the end, and like the light is at the end of the tunnel. Just it makes it feel a little bit heavier.
My heart kind of broke for her in this moment because I think her crying over it being overwhelming is the most relatable thing.
Yeah, yes,
where she's not crying because she's sad. She's not crying because like
she wants to be in a relationship with him, or it's just
he was the closest thing she had to a friend in this house.
Yeah, and like everybody was like fighting about who can talk and like saying if she wanted something, everybody was against her. Like again, it doesn't matter if like the girls are against her or not. She feels like the girls are against her.
Yeah, and then the situation's just like a terrible one to navigate. And Lexi was already feeling lonely, and then this.
I would also immediately start thinking about the edit and being like, the fuck is about to air in 9 months?
But we're also, I don't know if she's a seasoned TV vet, but
I think she would. She's seasoned entertainment world, like, person.
So it's 1:40 p.m. Danielle is here. I love a Danielle
Dude,
pop.
she walks in like she owns that house in such a great way. I love her. She's like, I'm comfortable. Let's sit down. She's so happy to see people.
And it was funny. She says hi to Gabby and Lexi, and then she's like, "How are you, Jesse?" Lexi's like, "I broke up with him." And Danielle goes, "Again?"
Iconic behavior.
So then all the girls aren't working because all the guys are setting up.
As they should.
And then Wes is like, you could do to help, you could make tombstones and just write scary things that have died. Yeah. So, like, one of the tombstones says, like, R.I.P. Jesse, Kyle, Carl, Wes. Obviously. Funny. And then Lexi makes one that says, "Here lies Jesse's lies," which that was funny.
I like that.
That was funny. And she's like, Jesse's gonna be so mad. And she even put the date July 4th to August 30th.
That's what made it even funnier.
Honestly, glad she did it.
Me too, because like if he can make little comments about her, why can't she do the same?
It was funny.
At least hers are funny. God forbid a girl has some humor.
God forbid we tell one joke.
It's just a joke.
It times better when we're together because if we were like remote, it would have been off. So there's a makeup artist here to do everyone's scary makeup. Is the theme scary Halloween?
I think it's just haunted.
And everyone looks so good. I think Lindsay needs a shout out. She was in a Handmaid's Tale, which is the scariest. Well, Lindsay Jesus Christ.
I mean, I just, because Handmaid's Tale is also airing right now, it's funny how, like, she didn't even think about that or, like, planning that, but it's aligning in this world a little too perfectly, too. I'm like, why is this happening?
It was so good. You know what you should do? If you can find enough video of Lindsay in The Handmaid's Tale, then layer it
over some audio.
The Handmaid's audio.
Challenge accepted.
I'm sure there's a theme song.
It's gonna need to take me a week because
probably. Take a minute. But then Sierra also has a great costume. She is a man in finance.
6'5", blue eyes.
Trust funds.
Yes.
But she is so funny. She's showing everyone her portfolio. She's talking about stock.
She has like blocks on shoes so she can be like taller. It just made me think of Jax over on Vanderpump Rules with his lifts.
It was so good and so scary. Because Sierra's like, look outside.
I mean, she is hilarious. Also, Jesse was in finance, and I just kept thinking about him this whole time, being like a scary boy. He's scary enough.
And she had green eye contacts.
blue, but yes.
They blue?
Yeah. Because 6'5" blue eyes.
Green blue eyes. I think
It just
green, maybe.
they might have reflected weird, but it also made me think of the time Sheena Shea had those blue contacts.
I loved them. I didn't even clock it until people pointed it out, which was so great. So it's 6:42 p.m. Jesse saw Lexi's tombstone, and he's like, "I'm about to lose it." And I'm like,
He's such a fucking
"That's
bitch.
what's gonna send you?" Come on, a little part of him didn't think like that's hilarious.
Okay, but like, why does he get to have emotions and be upset whenever he gets shit talk?
So then Kyle, Lindsay, and Danielle chat, which like my whole heart is.
The OGs are something else.
They're just I love. Too bad Carl can't be.
I mean, but still, a lovely trio.
So they talk about they've gone through so many summers together. Says personally he could keep doing this. And
we know.
He's like, yeah, this isn't my ending. And Danielle's like, dude,
you're pregnant.
This is your end. At some point, you gotta hang up the summers.
Yeah.
She then shares with us she's kind of going through an identity crisis. She's gonna become a mom, and now she can't live in like a party share house. And this has been her life for 9 years. How is she gonna make her money? Where does she go from here? What does she do?
That's a lot.
And I think, most mothers would probably go through this because, like, you do take time off of work, and then it's like, I have to go back, and like, what's that going to be like? And like, am I going to make it? I also think it's really scary that like Lindsay's paycheck is like dependent upon if she goes to this share house.
Yeah, and I think because that's a lot of questions, they all lead into each other too. Like, we're not moms, but I can only imagine an identity crisis on anyone, no matter what field you're in. But then the fact that your whole career is not compatible with this new life is a lot of questions, and you won't be able to solve them right now. You won't be able to solve them when you become a mom. It'll take a long time. In present day, they're not even solved. Like, what do they do with Lindsay Hubbard on Bravo TV? And I think the minute she starts thinking about it, she'll crash out a little bit. So it's like, we're not going to talk about that right now.
I think it's also scary, just like you said, becoming a mom. That's your new identity, and it's like a lot of moms I feel like go through this of like, okay, but who am I outside of being a mom? Am I someone I was? Am I someone different? Like, I have to adapt a life. Like, imagine people become moms at all different ages, but like, if I were to become a mom, like, my lifestyle is not conducive to a child, so I would have to completely change my life. And so it is really scary, and I just feel for my girl.
I know. I don't fault her for being like, what are you talking about? I'm doing this next summer.
I own the house.
I can't deal with that right now. Like, let's get through the end of summer. I don't want to be Lexi with her overwhelmed. Like, I want to pretend it's not happening.
Paige puts West into one of the coffins.
That was on the preview for the summer. Yeah. And I'm like, I hate when they add shit in that means nothing.
Like, you thought maybe he got locked in?
No, but like, they add stupid shit to like be dramatic, and it's just like,
I thought it was funny when Gabby was twerking on that scare guy. That was like
God.
the closest she's gotten to a man.
Got her.
So funny.
Yeah, got her.
And then Jesse, he's surrounded by 4 blonde girls, and Lexi's watching the whole thing.
I didn't like that the girls like clock that she's watching her. That doesn't bother me, but they're like looking down on her for like watching him. They just ended things. I would be stalking that man if I was at the same party as him too.
They're also stalking him. They see him too. They're like, look at Jesse with those 4 girls.
So true.
Obviously, then you're gonna look at his ex. If Carl was talking to a woman, you look at Lindsay. It's just, and Lindsay's gonna look too.
Yeah, Lindsay commented on Carl all summer, and she's over it.
I think the thing is, Lexi doesn't want to be seen as crazy. Lindsay's fucking nuts, dude, and she does.
Yeah, Lindsay owns it better. But what do you think about Jesse flirting with girls at this party?
I think he's on a terror.
I think it's rude. It just happened. We have one last weekend. Like, have some respect.
I think the thing is, oh my God, I'm very spiteful.
Yeah.
So I have been Jesse in a situation. I'm not actually like looking for anything, but if my ex is at a party and we broke up, I'm flirting my little butt off with anything that breathes.
Yeah, but like 12 hours later, 24 hours later,
5 minutes later. You're not going to ruin my day. But again, I'm openly doing it out of spite. Like you know, I'm doing it. I think, I would never probably hook up.
Yeah, I don't think he would hook up.
I don't think so either, but I do think like if I was on TV doing this shit, I would take note of that and be like, I don't want people to know I'm so spiteful.
The thing is, I feel like he's like, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm being considerate. I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, you're not.
No, I mean, that's the thing is I would own, like,
you would have a diary room session where you're like, fuck that guy. Like, yeah.
I'm fucking psychotic. I also, well, Jesse technically did get broken up with. I was going to say, if I broke up with someone, I wouldn't do this. Mm-hmm. But if I got broken up with, or if we're in a fight, I'm good. I'm going to do it. But I'll own it. I mean, I've had boyfriends that boyfriends, ex-boyfriends approach me at parties.
I just think it's poor taste.
It's terrible flirt. And I'd be like, no, I'm doing to hurt you.
I was more mad at the girls, like, being like, ugh, and she's watching.
That was, I don't necessarily, I think Jesse knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I wish he would then just be like, I'm doing this to hurt Lexi. Because I, in a second, would have.
I respect that. Well, I respect the honesty.
Yeah. What I'm doing is terrible, and I can acknowledge that, but I will tell you I'm doing it to hurt you. Yeah. And that's that.
So, like, don't cross Alicia.
I also probably wouldn't do 4 men. That seems like a murder scene.
Yeah. I wasn't mad that he was, like, walking up to people, introducing himself. It's a goddamn party. We're on a show.
He also, though, he's a lot different of a flirter than I am. Like, he looks at girls and he's like, I'll do anything for you. I'll drive you back to the city.
That, because she walked past when he said that, that was crazy.
I would probably just look at a guy and be like, you should give me a drink.
I would just, like, want to laugh. And so, like, somebody sees me having fun with another person.
You know what? I'm bad at what I do because I would laugh and then look straight at my eyes and be like,
got him.
Terrible.
I love it.
Yeah, I am hella spiteful, but Jesse doesn't do it right. Like, there's a right way to be spiteful. Oh, there's not. Just own it. Just own it.
If you're gonna be spiteful, be honest and own it.
Yeah. And I would sit there and be like, I did this with malicious intent.
Yeah. Of course.
Absolutely. Did you see? The other thing, though, is this, like, isn't even a breakup. It was a fucking month. I only do this to men that actually hurt me.
That's the thing. All parties, and literally every person in this house is so goddamn dramatic about this 8-week love affair.
If I haven't known you for 3 months, you're not hurting me badly enough for me to be spiteful.
Right?
So, that's crazy. July 4th to August 30th. So it's 8:38 p.m. We have a dance party going, and then somehow Jesse and Lexi end up in the kitchen together. She's like, tell Gabby to leave, and Gabby's like, all right, see ya.
Oh my God.
So Jesse doesn't want to have to navigate this conversation with her. He just wants to end the summer strong. Lexi's like, look, I don't plan on having a friendship with you. And Jesse's like, oh, that hurts.
It's reminding me of the West and Sierra conversations at the beginning of the summer where it's like,
we don't have to be friends.
We don't owe you this. Well, especially if he's going to act the way he's acting at this party. She doesn't owe you friendship. Like, in order to get something, you got to give it.
Even the way you acted last night. I broke up with you. You're going to go tell the house something about Sierra. Yeah. Like, if you see it from Lexi's point of view, you told the house that I broke up with you because I was jealous of Sierra. Yeah. Then you sit at a dinner table where I call you out and you say, that actually didn't happen, so I look crazy.
Yeah, any chance of that ain't happening.
Yeah. And then you, like, don't say anything else about it. We don't talk all day, but we're going to talk right now.
And the minute I'm a little annoyed, you're like, I just thought we could be friends.
You're being spiteful, and now you're like, I'm fine. I thought we could be friends.
He wants to comment and do whatever he wants to do, but the minute she, like, has anything, makes her tombstone or is frustrated that he's flirting with people, he's like, oh, I thought we could be friends.
Last night he didn't want to be friends. No. Lexi just thinks there was a lot of deception. Jesse just wants to be amicable. Lexi says, like, it would be cool if he didn't, like, get the house involved. Or maybe get the house involved in front of Lexi so we can all discuss it. And it was even worse because Jesse didn't even really tell Fat. So Lexi had told Jesse, then they bring up the U.S. Open shit, and I guess Lexi had told Jesse that it would have been nice to be invited to the U.S. Open, but then
It sounds like she told him she wanted to go. So I guess he was the one with the original tickets. She wanted to go to that event. He chooses to take Sierra. I get why she's mad.
Oh, you think he chose to take Sierra?
I think he chose Sierra over Lexi, and Lexi is frustrated because she's already voiced she wants to go. Well, potentially, based on what she's saying. She voiced she wanted to go. And if Jesse was like shit talking Sierra, frustrated with Sierra, that would piss me off even more. It's like, you don't even like, you're upset with this friend and you're going to take them over me.
I took it more as like maybe Jesse had a +1 or not to this suite they were in.
Mm-hmm.
And Lexi was like, I really want to go, but Jesse knew Sierra was going to go, so he's like, I'm going to go by myself.
That's also bad. It just adds another layer of like, this is not going to work.
Yeah. It's just, he doesn't listen or care about you.
Yeah.
And Lexi just believes Jesse's pitting the girls against each other. And, you know, Lexi is such a girl's girl, so that hurts her. And Jesse says Lexi could have hung out with the girls. But she didn't.
I don't like how he says that.
And Jesse doesn't like how Lexi is coming after her character. And she's like, you also came after my character. And Jesse says, God forbid he's on a reality show and talks to his friends. And then they both are basically like, you're going to look back and see. You're going to watch and you're going to see.
I actually like when TV shows reference that they're on TV shows in an appropriate manner. This was one.
See, this is why I'd never be on reality TV, because anyone wronged me, I'd be like, you'll see.
But that's vague enough that like they're talking about the edit, the reality show that they're about to see this in 9 months. It cracks me up because this is the reality. This is the world we live in now. We all know that they're on shows. They know that they're on shows. Like, and that adds to the drama. We're seeing that on like Secret Lives of Mormon Wives with like contract negotiations. Like, I think it's funny that the show elements add their own drama. Anyways,
absolutely love it. So the party continues. Jesse's out here flirting with girls.
He finds new girls.
Right in front of Lexi, too. He's making sure she's watching. And this is where Sierra is like, well, Brantley.
Yes, our finance bro.
Blue eyes. Sierra wouldn't even go for Jesse, even if she was a little interested, because she doesn't want Lexi to see that in the house, and that's like really rude. So Sierra's being great.
Oh my God. I'm like, thank God they're tuning into this because this sucks.
This is inappropriate behavior.
Yeah.
So then Jesse had all these girls in the kitchen, to which like Amanda and Sierra somehow clear those girls out. And they tell Jesse, like, you need to stop.
Cut it out.
And Jesse says, I don't care. And Sierra goes, well, care just a little.
There he is, everybody. Exactly who he thought he was.
And then we got to Emerald making out with a girl.
Alicia was screaming, more of this, more of this. You know that Bravo was pumped that, because you have to sign a waiver when you walk on the property for those parties. We got our face this time, people.
Not back. Not back. So then Sierra kicks everyone out. Amanda lays in this coffin and chats with Paige and Sierra will not let her close this coffin.
She's so freaked out.
But the girls talk about how they're depressed when they're not together. And like realistically, they're not going to see each other until November. So they probably should do like FaceTime calls once a week to gossip, catch up. Do you think Amanda and Sierra hang out without Paige?
Not really, because I found out that Sierra spends half of her time in Atlanta and is a nurse in Atlanta.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good for her.
I think she has apartments in both cities and still like models and does stuff, but I don't think she's in the city as much as you would think she is.
And that's fair, yeah. I was also just wondering because it seems like Paige is kind of the middle link of the two of them. Like, I think Amanda and Sierra are friends, and if they're in the summer house together, they're going to hang out and, like, whatever.
Yeah.
With or without Paige. But I think once you get back to the city, I think Paige is the one that makes the effort to be like...
I think Paige does individual stuff with each person. I bet Sierra and Amanda text, but yeah, I would say solo drinks are few and far between.
And Paige even says, like, she knows that they have their guy problems and, like, boyfriends or whatever, but who fucking cares about these guys when you have the girls?
Amen.
I love.
Amen.
So then we cut back inside. Lindsay really doesn't want this summer to end. This was a really good summer for her.
This made me sad.
In the house, she like sees everyone dancing in the foyer at a dance party, and she takes like a little video. She's like, "This is really." I was like, "If this is Lindsay's last time in the summer house, I'm gonna honestly." I told Meredith, I said, "This might be the end of me."
It feels like a graduation, you know, like it's so obvious that it's like a final moment, but it's like she's like literally taking a step back and soaking up every moment.
My heart, I love Lindsay so much. And then we weirdly don't get, which this made me kind of sad because usually we get like a goodbye
to the house.
We didn't get that.
I know. I didn't like that either.
Felt really incomplete. Like, oh, we'll be coming back next week.
Because they usually all drive away together and they're like, next summer,
Even
like.
if there is some sort of like thing at the, like Carl and Lindsay's breakup, we
got the goodbye.
It felt weird.
We got the we're going back to the city.
It just ended with Lindsay being like, it was a good summer. And I'm like, wait, are we still there? Are we coming back next week? What? We didn't end it.
Is it all done? Like, it's not all done.
Yeah, well, we jumped to 3 months later. December 5th, 8:02 p.m. Lindsay's at the hospital. They have her baby, and little baby Gemma is born December 6th. We see the time at 4:04 p.m. I don't know what the fuck time Gemma was born. But watching Lindsay with Gemma was so cute. I love Lindsay.
I feel like
she was sending me in tears.
This scene really hit home how the other cast members softened Lindsay in their mind. Like, this was a perfect snapshot of that. Like, her just holding her daughter, tearing up, loving her so much. It's just like wild because we don't know these people, but like to watch Lindsay for 9 seasons and watch this moment happen, it's crazy. Especially you. Like, you were always a stan.
And it's weird thinking like back, like 9 years ago, she thought she was going to get married to Everett. She was really hurt by him.
Yeah.
We've seen all the ups and downs. And she really always just wanted to be a mom.
I know.
Especially like she wanted to break the cycle that her mom started.
I wonder if she always knew that would heal her a little bit.
I think she talked about it.
Yeah.
She was always like, I want to be a mom because like my mom wasn't a mom. And she
talked about it a little bit this summer about like saying like it's going to be nice to be able to like have that type of relationship.
I truly think Lindsay's going to be the best mom. Like, she's just...
And I just need Bravo to just accept that she just needs to be on Roni.
Oh my God, give me a show called Hub House. I'll watch Lindsay just explore the city with her fucking baby. And meet up with Paige at noon for drinks.
Can I tell you what I'm kind of pissed about is that Next Gen NYC that's about to air in June here. I feel like that's a New York show. We got Roni, like... We have Summer House. A 4th show seems like a lot. So it makes me nervous.
Yes, I totally agree. I don't think Next Gen gonna...
I agree. But it just makes me nervous to start a production. What I hope is that they can get Summer House in a different spot with like a good cast.
Roni for sure.
Happening or what? Happening. There were rumors that it was on pause, and Andy came out very strong and said that they're not. They are still in the works of like recasting. Yeah. And
I guess if I think Lindsay can fit into Roni, if
she's friends with one of the women,
she can kind of bring Roni back. I would then think like she could even hold her own show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then if Roni tanks again, you could just do a spinoff.
I would love if Lindsay went to Roni with the current cast.
Okay.
And then 2 to 4 years, Amanda and Paige ease back into it.
I think you could get it if Amanda gets pregnant for sure.
Yeah.
Paige, I think, will be harder. I think Paige should start as a friend of.
Ooh, I like that.
And see how she fits it.
Yeah. But I just think they would phase out the ladies currently on Roni, and it would be them and like some people,
some other
around them. Yeah,
like some other friends. Bring back Hannah. She's actually married. She could be a housewife of.
This might be a rumor, and I might have made this up, so I might be starting a rumor.
Oh, tell me the.
But
allegedly,
people. If I didn't read this, then I definitely made this up. But somebody mentioned about like workshopping a Hannah Page show, and I don't think that.
I don't want that. They already have a podcast.
That's the thing. And they're like started their YouTube channel. Like, I think that's a great addition for them. Of like they try things, but like
I think they need to be Hannah, especially needs to be in control of her own edit.
And I just don't think that I don't think Hannah needs to be a reality TV person. I think it needs to be, she's comedy and she needs to cultivate like whatever she's doing. Like,
she needs to just do her own.
Yeah.
No. I think definitely definitely Lindsay and Amanda on Roni. I think we could do both. And then
I just don't think Amanda would fit into Roni right now.
that's fine. Maybe in like a season or two. But then I think Paige needs to come in as a friend of and see if she fits in with. Like, I don't doubt she wouldn't fit in with the cast. It's more of like, would she fit in with like the Roni, what Roni is?
Yes, like the vibe of the show, what you're sharing, like how it runs, basically.
I just need to. I think Amanda could easily fit into that.
I agree.
If she wants to be a housewife in New Jersey or wherever.
True.
But Paige is more like she'd be in and out. So
yeah, I just
Make
think
her
she
a
lives a
Kathy
different life. Ooh, like it. I like it. I like it.
Okay, so now it's December 30th, 9:07 p.m. Paige and Craig have broken up.
I remember this day.
Announced on the podcast. I was in Mexico and I texted you.
I was in Puerto Rico and I had so many people texting me because I was on a family vacation.
The worst was my friends who were only gigglers were like, oh my God, I'm destroyed. I can't believe. And I literally texted Meredith and I go, I feel like I'm not even sad we saw. Hey,
I was like, wait. I was like, what are people saying?
I think I said finally. I was like, I
probably.
And no offense to Craig and Paige, but I said it on this podcast to you specifically. I don't know how she didn't have the ick from him. He was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
I don't know how she dated him for so long. What did I say? Craig would cry in New York City. Like, there's no way these two would last.
The more he says post breakup and the discussion these ladies are about to have cracks me up.
Literally the human equivalent of a crack single. Like, I can't explain it, but I'll die on this hill. So it's January 21st, 11:57 a.m. We're at Lindsay's apartment. Paige is here with many gifts for the blessed child. They peek in. She sees Gemma. Gemma wasn't awake. Like, do your job, bitch. We're here to see you.
They probably scheduled this around her nap time because she will not be on camera.
I just wanted Paige to hold her, and then I wanted Amanda to hold her. I wanted to see them holding.
Yeah, but I know, and I bet they did once cameras went down.
Okay, I said I want to see them holding.
I want them walking up to the hospital, meeting her, like, immediately.
And I was like, none of these reality people. We do learn that Lindsay doesn't know if she pooped when she gave birth. They didn't tell her, which
I shouldn't.
I would want to know.
Yeah, like, let's stop stressing people out.
Yeah, that stresses me out. Years. Especially because I have terrible bowels.
My gosh. Yeah, no, I feel like it's just a health thing and they're used to it. So like let's all move on, people.
Fine. So we cheers to Paige being single, but then Amanda's here. She also sees little baby Gemma and she cries. There's something special about Amanda and
I agree. I agree.
You don't see enough of. Because we saw Paige and Lindsay, but I want to see Lindsay.
I don't think you can truly capture it too. Like, this moment shows it. Like, they have gone through so much life. It's similar to like Kyle and Lindsay. Like, they fight a lot, but like the life in the world that they've lived in and the kind of like code that they've kind of created around this show of being friends, it's like there is so much loyalty there. And again, like, it doesn't compare for us to watch like Lindsay become a mom. Like, can you imagine knowing her and truly walking that journey with her for 9 years?
I would literally be into Amanda.
Yeah.
Okay, so they sit down, and we're not going to get into the meat and potatoes. First, we got to talk about Lindsay's schedule.
I died when we went straight to Lindsay's world because I'm like, we're waiting for the like dessert with Paige and Craig.
But this is when she shares like Lindsay is going a little stir crazy because her days are like the same. She's just on Gemma's schedule. But thank God for Turner. He's the best guy you could be in this situation with, which I realized she didn't say in a relationship with. She said like having a baby with me.
Well, I also think she just like their situation is very special and unique. Like, they aren't in a solid foundation. So even if they are still together at that present moment, it's like we barely know each other and we're having a kid together.
Yeah. And Lindsay does say the one issue they have in their relationship is that Lindsay is very public and Turner is incredibly private. And Lindsay's never had to have this happen before. Like, all her boyfriends have been in the public.
Yeah.
And even if they haven't before the show, they were open to being on the show and being talked about. So Lindsay's trying to figure out how to walk that line. And Lindsay says if she didn't get pregnant, she doesn't know if her and Turner would be together because Lindsay wouldn't have compromised her.
No, she says they wouldn't.
She doesn't know if they would have been together because Lindsay wouldn't compromise.
I swear she said they wouldn't be together.
I think it's implied that Lindsay would not have compromised, so they probably wouldn't have been.
Which is like a little awkward. Like, that's a complicated life where you're like, we want to try to make this work. I think that's, as long as it's not a really toxic situation, I think it is so admirable and understandable that you would want to try to keep a family unit together. But then that adds a whole layer of stress of like, what are we doing this for? If it's just for this child, that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and I mean, Lindsay's full job is being in the public eye.
And she's already having her identity crisis. Like, she can't pull back on all of it. If she's even scared about the show, like, she's full influencer. She can't become a private person. A, you can never put the genie back in the bottle. But B, this is her whole world.
Yeah. So it's time for Paige and Craig.
Here we go.
So Paige feels really good. She feels like she made the right decision.
She's like, I feel great. Everything's wonderful.
Really, Craig on January 27th or 21st was probably crashing out somewhere.
Oh, his tearful video he put up on Instagram.
God. So 2 days after the breakup, which is crazy because I don't talk to my dad every day, so 2 days is crazy. Paige's dad called and said that he feels like Paige's personality is back.
Okay, I know you just said 2 days. Can we talk about this really quick? Can we zoom out a little bit? That the timeline here I'm confused about, but I think it's confusing to them too, because I think on Watch What Happens Live, Paige said that she broke up with Craig over Thanksgiving weekend. But then in this conversation, and Craig has said it wasn't Thanksgiving weekend. So I feel like they kind of broke up, but it was like, let's talk again in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
When they're together in New York in December.
Yes. I think she maybe tried to break up with him around Thanksgiving, and he was like, I'm coming to New York in December.
That's when his Watch What Happens Live appearance was. So I don't fault him as much anymore for maybe lying on Watch What Happens Live about the relationship.
Fine.
I see him being like, in his mind, he thinks there's still a relationship happening.
Yeah. When he probably left New York, she was like, there's no hope.
2 days after New York, or after the New York combo in December is when her dad called her. So like,
yes.
Then he was like
2 days after it was official with Craig. Yeah.
Yes. He's like, your personality's back. So it's been 2 weeks of him seeing her. It wasn't instantaneous.
Oh, you're right.
That's like, that makes sense. That's what I got, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he would have then seen like Paige between Thanksgiving and Watch What Happens Live, seen her come alive again. Paige makes it official, like, we're not going to get back together. Yeah. There's no hope. And then 2 days later, her dad's like, good thing you finally fucking ended it for sure. Yeah. Back. Okay, maybe my dad would.
I think my dad would do that because I think it did come back quick, but not 2 days quick. 2 weeks quick, like in a good way.
My dad probably would have said something beforehand, too. I wonder if her dad did. My dad would have been like, you really push your spark.
I think her mom came on tour with her because she was struggling so much. So, like, even if her dad isn't talking to her, like, her dad's talking to her mom.
Well, remember Sierra made that comment where she was like,
your mom would be so mad. Yeah.
Damn, we really do hide to protect the ones we think we love. I think she loved us, but you know what I mean.
I think the last year it really went really downhill.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I don't know how she didn't get the ex sooner.
I don't think Craig is a horrible boyfriend. I think they had and I think Paige said this on her podcast. Like, she's the best boyfriend, or he is the best boyfriend she's had. I believe that's fully true. I think he really cared about the relationship, but I just don't think they're compatible. And the thing I think whatever he can give, somebody else probably really wants the person he is. Yeah. And that's just what dating is.
His new girlfriend.
Enjoy it. He's all yours.
Yeah. Okay, so this summer they all agree there was definitely something different about Paige. Paige says she didn't realize it until they were out of the house, and then she was on tour having panic attacks, which Do you remember the story that, like, when Paige was having a panic attack on
She
tour,
did to her? Yeah.
he showed her a documentary about how tours destroy families? That's literally like someone being like, I'm afraid to go in an airplane, and someone being like, watch episodes from 9/11. Like, the fuck? Why would you show this?
It would send me into a bigger spiral, and I bet she thought it was because of her, and then that makes her feel guilty, and it just compounds what she's already feeling. But you can't, she already is not coming up for air and like probably having great thoughts about everything that would send me into a massive spiral. It would take my therapist years to get me
The
out of
way I
that.
hate Craig. Like, the way I just hate him.
It's crazy because I'm like slowly understanding. I don't let people like support me and like be there for me, but I'm like slowly getting me and my wonderful therapist are getting me there. But I just can't imagine your partner of 3 years does that to you.
That's when your mom steps in and is like, yeah.
And this is why your mom comes on tour with you.
Yeah. No, yeah. I see. You don't love me then. If you already see me anxious, we even saw it this summer when she's like, I'm anxious, and he's like putting more pressure on her.
Yeah.
When she cried and was like, I'm just scared that Craig's gonna be like, you're such a bitch. That really still
That
me.
I know.
That she even thinks her partner would talk to her that way. Like, I wouldn't date anyone that I think
Yeah.
would.
Wait, I just got chills. Like she's imagining the conversation and that's how she thinks it's gonna go, and she's terrified.
Yeah, and it's not even like a passing. Like, sometimes I'm sure I've done this and I will. Or even like with you, I'd be like, Meredith probably thinks I'm such a bitch. You know,
it's like it's a passing like that's a sit down conversation she's expecting him to say.
scared Craig's gonna think I'm a bitch. Or say you're such a bitch, whatever she said. Oh, but the fact that you would date someone that said, no, that hurts me so bad.
But you probably think
Do that to someone you're dating.
I know, but you probably think like I bet she was thinking
I'm a bitch.
3 years into this that I'm the one causing a schedule chaos. Yeah.
Well, Paige even says being a girl, she was like, am I just being dramatic?
I hate that we all do that to ourselves.
Listen, we are dramatic, but 99% of the time we're right.
Why am I not allowed to be dramatic?
Right.
God forbid a girl's dramatic.
Right at the end of the day. She was right. Her drama was correct. Her gut was telling her. And at least she's not out here punching walls. She's just having a panic attack.
Yeah, yes.
Talk about dramatic. You're vandalizing things. That grow up, you know? So, okay, then we take a shot of breast milk really quick.
You were freaked out at this for a minute, but you came on board.
I don't think I would try my friend's breast milk. I would try my sister's or my own.
I think it's different when it's like the first, well, maybe it isn't the first friend of theirs to have a baby. It's definitely not, but I don't know.
I would try, when you were like, I think I tried my sister's. I would try my sister's if she would let me. I don't think I would like try yours. I think that would freak me out a little.
I think it would have to be the right moment where it just is a funny bit. And like this, like Lindsay just pulled out a shot glass.
That it wasn't warm.
Okay, I was so scared that she was taking it off her boob and handing it to Paige, and Paige was going to take a little swig. I don't need it fresh from your boobs.
So, okay, back to Paige and Craig. Craig asked Paige, like, how it happened. They were together for the holidays. Craig asked Paige about, like, does she picture them together?
Their traditions with
the family, with their kids during the holidays. And Paige at first was like, yeah, sure, as you would. But then she thought about it and she's like, no, I don't.
See, I think she, for the last year and a half, just gave answers that she felt like she was supposed to, the yeses. And now she's been thinking about it.
Well, I think, too, like, if you ask, I mean, I don't want children, but if you asked me if I ever pictured, like, hosting a holiday with my kids, I'd be lying if I said I never did.
I mean, yeah, it's called imagination. Like, anybody could sit down and picture, but it's like,
if it's real in front of me, then I'm going to be like, I mean, I always, like, randomly, I'm always like, oh, I can't wait to show my kids that movie, right? But then the time comes to have a kid, I'm going to be like, I don't think so.
But it's like generic children, but it's like, do you picture it with me? And it's like, no, Craig.
Do you picture it with me?
I think she does take seriously how much Craig wants a family. Yeah. And I think she just thought a flip would switch, a switch would flip, and she'd be like, all right, I'm ready. Like, let's settle down. Let's do this. And it never was. And that question hit her like a ton of bricks and was like, wait a minute.
She said, she was like, I told Craig, like, that's not fair to him, that I don't picture this. They both deserve to have, the loves of their life.
Yeah. Which also, that being the conversation that changed things, also tells me Craig would need 2 weeks to get it. To believe
I
it.
agree. Because maybe he, again, was like, you're just not picturing it now.
You're being dramatic.
You are the love of my life. So Paige was honest about saying she didn't feel the things that she maybe should be feeling at this point in the relationship. Especially if they were like planning on getting engaged, they should be excited for this, and she wasn't.
I want that talked about more at the reunion.
So then in December, they had a conversation in person. This is probably when Craig was on Watch Me Up Live. And Craig says, I wish you didn't do this before you saw the ring. Like, me seeing your princess cut would change my mind.
It feels like manipulative that, like, oh, a ring would change this. Like, that's how people feel about, like, like babies will fix a relationship. Why would us getting engaged change this?
Well, very much like she's sitting there going like, this is what I want. I can't give you what you want.
It's best for both of us.
Like, are you sure want to do that? I have this diamond. Like, the fuck? And Paige was like, I didn't know if he was lying right then and there. And I was like, that's crazy. Because he probably was. He probably didn't have a ring.
I can't decide if he did or didn't, but it's weird that he then also told her he had it for a year.
I don't think he had the ring.
I don't know, because, like, I think he had one picked out, had a, like, jeweler, could have at any time been like, all right, make it. And in his mind, that means he had it.
No, but on Southern Charm, didn't he say he had the ring and he still had it?
He said at the Southern Charm reunion that he was returning it on that trip because they were filming in New York.
He's owning up that he had the ring.
Yeah, but, like, do we believe him? That's the thing. I keep flip-flopping on, like, if he's a liar, you think he's just saying things
to make himself seem more like the victim. Like, I bought this ring for the girl.
I don't think he ever had a ring, but you could tell me that he met with a jeweler, designed something. Like, that's very Craig.
I think he wanted to get her a ring.
Yeah. I think if she said, I'm ready to get engaged, he had his jeweler picked out, it was like, all right, let's go. Execute on the plan. But I don't think he had a physical ring in his hand. I think he had sketches.
He's such a loser, this guy. Anyway, so no one knew that they broke up.
That's stressful.
And so Paige was like, I respectfully put it out on the podcast, which she did. I listened to that, and she didn't talk about it the whole time. It was very much.
They reminisced on how great of a boyfriend he was. Even Hannah was, like, complimenting him.
Like, don't hate Craig.
Yeah.
It's all good. And then all these cheating rumors came out, some of which I wish were true. I wish that she was hooking up with Marcelo Hernandez from SNL. I think that would have been the funniest thing in the world. Doesn't matter. There were all these cheating rumors that Paige cheated on Craig. Paige cheated on
for months.
For months. Paige was getting annihilated in the public. So she texted Craig and asked if he could just clear it up. It would take 2 seconds for him to put a post up and be like, for everyone making up these rumors, Paige did not cheat on me. It was just a breakup.
Because she said, like, in her podcast, there was nothing bad. He did nothing wrong. Like, she put out there that everything was good on his side of the fence. I think when it comes to something that's, like, the truth or, like, like a rumor going around that is so off base, I think it's not that he should. You're never required to do anything for an ex, but I just think he should have.
Can I say, it really made me mad when those rumors were coming out. Like, how mad the public was at Paige. Because in my mind, that just means that the public couldn't comprehend that, like, Paige didn't want what everyone is, quote, supposed to want in a family. Right? Like, she had a great guy who was willing to give her a family, and, like, women should be grateful for that. And Paige just didn't want that. And it was like, then she must have cheated on him.
Well,
you can't just let them.
It's more layered because remember when she went to that football game and she was sitting next to that guy? I forget what his name is. He had a fiance and she was posting that Paige was in his DMs and Paige broke up their engagement. Like, she was like a big pop star of that conversation.
Going around before then. Like cheating stuff, and
Yes.
Yeah. So people already couldn't comprehend that like nothing happened, and maybe Paige just doesn't want your conventional life.
I mean, they hated her even when they were in a relationship, and she wouldn't immediately walk down an
And then
aisle.
this woman was like, she broke up my engagement, which that's on your man, dude. But
I think it's very. She kept saying, I don't know this girl's name, but she kept saying she had like receipts and proof. And I'm sorry, if you're gonna say you have receipts, you better show up with them. Because when you don't, then I'm just like, there's a lot more doubt than I have in your story. Like,
you're going, I have receipts and proof and whatever, and timelines and screenshots. Okay, show them.
yeah. But when she didn't, it's like, okay, well,
you're airing out the dirty laundry, so then give me the proof.
This is like a giant gray issue of like, you have like relationship drama. Paige is like tangentially like involved, and she's now interested in your ex. That's just crazy drama, and that's what I'm chalking it up to. But like, it was more than just like a rumor, a baseless rumor, like the SNL guy.
I bet they were like, oh my SNL dude. I bet that they were DMing. But at the end of the day, like that woman
doesn't owe you.
That woman didn't ever say like my fiance is a scumbag or whatever. She was like Paige is a bitch, and it's like
Paige isn't a girl's girl.
Okay, well, Paige doesn't have to be a girl's girl if she doesn't fucking know you? Question mark. But also, great, yeah, she's going after what she wants. But if your fiance actually loved you, he should have been like, hey, stay out of my DMs.
Yeah, I don't know what Paige knew. I mean, it's like shitty. Okay, if Paige knew they were engaged and was going, that's shitty. Yeah, that's not good. But like, yeah, where's also the hate towards your ex-fiance? Let's put him on blast.
But anyway, yeah, she texted Craig and was like, hey, can you say something? And Craig says he didn't feel comfortable saying anything at this time. So PR.
He's such a little bitch.
Which that pissed Paige off. And I'll say this. Paige fought for him in their relationship. Because let me tell you, if we were ever graced like the ability to interview a Bravo Lab, let's say Paige, and she did her research and listened to our podcast, she would have come on here and been like, stop talking shit on my man, and I would have been like, never. And we would have had beef because I'm not going to stop talking shit about Craig. I think he sucks. But she would have stood by him. We would have beefed because of that. She always stood up for him. I always thought Craig was such a little bitch. And Craig's embarrassing to stand up for because he's most of the time terrible.
And he constantly is lying. He's doing it to himself. Here's my thing. He gets to make whatever decision he wants to, but then she cuts him off. And do you remember on the Southern Charm reunion, he was like, she won't answer my texts anymore. That's a product of your own decision, my guy.
You're not going to help me out in this cheating room?
We are not speaking ever again. Like, we're done here.
The fuck? You can't even say she didn't cheat on me.
Which is true.
I still hate her. She broke my heart.
All you had to do was one little Instagram story that said, I just want to clear this up. There was no cheating in our relationship. I'm moving on. Like, I don't want to discuss this.
Leave us both alone.
Nobody's asking you to leave a review of your relationship and that she was great and make a podcast episode about it.
Said he cries on his Instagram years later, it felt like. Anyway, so they have not spoken since Paige asked him to speak up. And as far as she's concerned, Craig is dead to her.
Rightfully so.
Baby. Thank God we're done with this.
It's just like, at least, like, the body's been cold for a while. At least we can bury it.
I could be friends with Paige now, because if she was dating Craig, I couldn't be friends with her because I talked so much shit on her man.
I wouldn't want to hang out around Craig.
Yeah, but then Paige wouldn't want to hang out with us because we don't like Craig. At least now we can be friends with Paige.
Yeah, but, like, he didn't live here, so there were times we could see her.
Yeah, but if she starts talking about Craig, I'm going to be like, dude, just leave.
No, I don't think she was ever that type of girl.
She's like, Craig's texting me. I'm like, block him.
She's not even looking at her phone.
Get rid of him. Kill him? I don't know. Craig also didn't respond to Amanda and Kyle. Amanda just texted him 3 hearts.
One thing I will say is Paige didn't respond to Madison either. I don't think you need to respond to people of the other shows.
I don't care.
It's weird.
But Paige is coming to terms that her life is not what she imagined. Then she looks at Amanda and she's like, I don't think any of our lives are what we imagined. But honestly, that's okay. It doesn't mean it's good or bad or better or worse. It's just like different. And maybe their lives are way better than what they imagined. So cheers to the
easy.
We saw what Lindsay imagined her life to be, so we know.
I mean, we got a whole timeline at the start of the summer.
And Amanda's been wanting kids since season 1. So
she still has a child of 1. Yeah, Kyle Cook is her child.
She's wanted Kyle to stop drinking. She's wanted him to come home at 11. None of that stuff has happened yet.
No. To stop waking her up. Like, simple things.
He did that this last episode.
He did better.
So, the next episode is the first part of the reunion. So it is bed bug themed.
Cute.
Very cute. Wes brought his notes, which just says to talk.
He's so funny.
We get a Lindsay and Turner update. We reopen Wes and Sierra a little bit. Paige discusses the Craig shit. Kyle wants kids, but Amanda doesn't want kids with someone who isn't ready to have kids, which is, you clocked that. Maybe she saw your TikTok. And she was like, whoa. And we talk about Lexi and Jesse, so nothing new there. But Meredith, since it's the end of the season, we have to do one final fun, not fun, and then I'll tell you the winners of the season.
All right, which one are we starting with?
Let's do not fun.
Okay. I mean, it's Jesse. I'm staying consistent on my hate for that man.
Okay, I'm gonna say, yeah, I think I have to. Everyone else is kind of fun. I'll go Jesse too.
Yeah. Everything else was fun.
Good note. Who's your fun?
I gotta give it to Lindsay.
I have to too.
Especially from last week when I not fund her. I mean, she didn't necessarily narrate this, but through her experience, it was like, I'm kind of annoyed because this episode didn't wrap up the same, like, the rightful way I wanted. Not that I wanted it to, but we didn't do the normal stuff of like.
It felt different.
It felt weird, this ending. But now that we've discussed it all, like, thinking through Lindsay's, like, last weekend and her having Gemma, and, like, I just love that for her.
Oh, I gotta give it to Lindsay too. It just felt like her wrap up. I love watching her. I loved her freedom dinner. I'll never move on from that. It was so funny.
I will say I did regret my unfun or my not fun a little bit more after last week's episode. It was Lindsay, and you were so mad at me, but I just was cringing too hard by the end of our episode.
Yeah, it was so good. Her and baby Gemma, her having Amanda and Paige over. You know, I love when my girls are together.
Especially those three. It hits different.
Watching Amanda cry over Lindsay's baby, like I was getting really emotional in this episode, and I just love Lindsay so much.
It's weird because, like, we're in the same age range as, like, Amanda and Paige, especially, like, it feels so realistic to our life. For, like, Vanderpump Rules, I did always feel distant from, but Summer House I feel more connected to in life experiences.
The Summer House is similar to us, where specifically in the beginning, they all had jobs, and then they just partied on the weekends. They took their jobs very seriously. Their drama wasn't, and I still stand by this, Summer House's drama isn't as, like,
chaos, like, really fireworks.
Unrelatable.
Yeah.
It's very relatable. We understand. The dynamics are amazing. I say this all the time that, like, Summer House, I don't hate anyone. Like, I mean, I hate Jesse Solomon in a way. But at the end of the day, like, I can see the human behaviors. I can understand what he was thinking. I
can see him coming back next season and being better.
All of the relationships are really interesting. Whereas, like, Vanderpump Rules or Southern Charm, I think they're just shitty-ass people on that show that I don't like.
I don't want to be friends with any of them.
Yeah, there's no one on this show that I think I couldn't hang out with, at least for an hour.
Especially, like, socially, yeah.
Socially. I think Jesse would be the hardest for me, because I just hate him. But I think if I met Jesse in the wild and had no idea, I think he'd be like,
oh my god, we'd be cracking jokes.
Hang out with. Or I think if I met fucking Tom Sandoval or Schwartz or Jack out in the wild, I'd be like, this man's gonna murder me on my way home. Like, oh my god, Tom Sandoval's singing karaoke. Yeah. Like, Summer House is, like, an easier show for us to relate to, because, and I have a friend who doesn't really watch Bravo. My friend Allie, Meredith knows her, but she's a Bachelor chick.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh. And we even watched Love Island. She had Wrong Take, but she was like, I want to get into Bravo. What show should I start with? And I said Summer House. Normally, for normal people, I'd be like Vanderpump Rules for sure, but, like, if you're a young professional, you'll just relate to Summer House more. It's easier to dip your foot. Okay, Meredith, with that, do you want to guess who our top not fun was?
Jesse.
Jesse beat unfun 14 times.
My God.
Do you want to guess second place at all?
West?
No?
Kyle?
Kyle was, yeah. Jesse got it 14 times and Kyle got it 5.
That's funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our fun of the season. This is going to be hard.
This one's hard.
A lot of people, and Meredith's on doing the tally, and I was even surprised.
Yeah. Can you tell me the number? I'm just curious.
6 times.
Okay. I wanted to know if it was, I knew it wasn't going to be a blowout, but.
Yeah. 6 times. In second place even is 5 times, so it's very close.
I feel like it's like Kyle and Lindsay.
Lindsay's second place.
Okay.
But no, Kyle we only did it twice.
Sierra?
Yep.
Okay, we did her a lot at the beginning. We loved her against West.
Yes, Sierra 6 times, Lindsay 5 times, and then just to give you third, Amanda and Lexi were tied for third, which that surprised me that we got Lexi, but yeah.
How many?
3 times.
Yeah, I think there was one episode we both gave it to Lexi.
Maybe. Yeah, so Sierra's our big winner, Jessica's our big loser.
She, I feel like, is becoming a better and better reality TV star. And this is her moment with the costumes. And, like, when we see the parties, she is really, really fun.
She's great. And I kind of liked her no bullshit attitude this season. Like, I
loved it. I liked her, like, softening on West, rightfully so. Like, they got back into a better groove.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, great episode. I'm kind of sad.
I know. I'm like, it feels like an ending, like, because we don't know what's happening. It feels weird.
Well, I'm whatever. I don't know. We didn't. Oh, we have some thoughts from last week. I'll really quick go over. We didn't get any this week because we're recording like
so quickly.
But really quick from last week, we got some Megan D comments. Jesse and Sierra's conversation was amazing. Sierra always sets firm boundaries, and Jesse trying to twist the narrative is crazy. I believe Lexi doesn't like Sierra in current time because of how Jesse talked about her, because he fawns over her all the time.
But that's not Sierra's fault.
Yeah, I agree. It's Jesse's fault. No, I'm just kidding. But
no, it is.
Jesse flirting with Sierra after the conversation. Dude has learned nothing. What's the excitement for any communication from Sierra? Hilarious, my dude. Amanda's swim is beautiful. It's weird Jesse got a manicure at 9 p.m. Lexi's doing the right thing. And the side-by-side car ride conversations are drastically different. Sounds like Lexi got the ick. And we got both Emerald and Gabby. How unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Which, shout out Emerald, I do want to give my condolences. His father passed away.
Heartbreaking.
I do want to say, I think he was done really dirty in the episode, or in this whole season. I would have preferred more of him. At least, like, give us a chance to get to know someone new.
And it sounds like he's only going to be a part of the reunion. Like, he's a friend of. So, like, it's even worse. We've never had that. Like, everybody always sits there for the entire thing, even if they don't have a comments.
Listen, I'm not going to say what it is, but
I mean, we all know.
How are you going to take the only man of color and cut him out like that?
And, well, he's not the first. He's not the last. Like, we've had many before him.
I'm not saying it's like a cast problem. I'm not saying it's a production problem, but something's happening.
Here's the thing is, you could make the effort to make sure this doesn't happen. You know, like, there's other things that production could. Yeah.
I don't know, but some's crazy. But yes, Emerald, all condolences to you. So sorry about your dad. And I wish I saw you more, but I'm excited for him at the reunion. Excited for the reunion as a whole.
Me too.
Can't wait to do it. So, with that, do all the things that I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. Okay, love ya.
Thanks for joining. Bye.